pretty healthy debris ball possibly, but I tell you what, I'm going to change the camera view here and see if we can zoom in just a little bit. And that's a pretty stout system right there. That's moving up 274, and we're talking about passing south of Lemansko, but you know, we're still looking at storms that could produce tornadoes that are pretty large. We've watched them pass by many areas. We've gotten pictures in from folks, and even saw what we had passed through earlier on our sky tracker system, and that was, it's a haunting look, but fortunately we didn't have anything touch down around the Paducah area, but we are getting reports of damage that was possibly out by the airport. So when I say the Paducah area, I'm talking about downtown, but out by the airport we do have reports of some damage. So again, these storms are tracking quickly towards the north and east, while the main line continues to slide to the east. And then once this is out of here, our severe weather threat will go down. Tomorrow, it's possible that we could have a couple of thunderstorms that have strong winds, but I don't expect that we will see a tornado threat this next go around. But the front, which is helping to push this out of our area for a few hours, will start to back up. And as I mentioned in the newscast earlier today, it becomes basically like an interstate in the atmosphere. So little disturbances will travel right across our area, one after another. And what we'll do is actually just pull a ton of moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico right up into our area, makes new showers, makes new thunderstorms. And that's why we'll see such incredible rainfall totals by the end of this week into the weekend. And that is something we're really going to have to focus on after we get done with this later tonight. We do have some damage, okay, and it's in West Paducah. All right, that is Christ Community Church in West Paducah. And I tell you what, it's that's pretty substantial. That right there is the roof lifted. You can tell the roof lifted because it's off to the side. And then what happens after that, once the roof lifts, the walls begin to cave in. There's nothing really, that's a part of the whole structure to keep it together. And that right there is an indication that even if that is not a direct tornado hit, it looks like it as far as damage goes, but I would bet offhand that's what we had, just looking at it. But that's from the Paducah Police blotter. And we're gathering information. Our newsroom has been working all throughout the evening to get more info, especially any reports of injuries or fatalities. And unfortunately, we've had a report of a fatality in the Cape Girardeau area. Waiting on more information from that, but they couldn't tell us much because they are really busy right now because of the damage, and the first responders who do such an incredible job, and we thank them so much, but still we just don't understand how much they have to do in events like this. So we'll get more information in as we get a little bit later into the night tonight. And what do we have as far, do we have any reports from the chat over there as far as from the National Weather Service, Nolan?
And the only new things I'm seeing, nothing really new at this time, currently in. Only from Hickman County, no reported damage. Only one large tree reported down on Highway 2206. That's about the only new news that we've got.
Okay, and how about the debris signature which we had in that last warning which came out? How is that looking?
Gotcha, and that is with the Madisonville storm.
Yes.
Right. All right, let's go ahead back in and look at this on the Madisonville storm real fast. And we'll switch to the correlation coefficient. There's your dropout right here, just to the east of the interstate near Ashbyburg. Now this is getting ready to move out of the region, east of Slaughters now. So if you know anyone out in front of this, like Ashbyburg, Calhoun, Lemon, Semiway, or even Poplar Grove is right near there. Let's get some more smaller towns plotted on here. Guffey, Poverty, Buell, Kentucky 136 and Kentucky 81. If you happen to know people that live out this way, it is outside of our reach, but give them a call and tell them that they need to get in the shelter now. This is a tornado on the ground. As you can see, that little ball, that green, little blue pixel, has dropped out, and that's where we show where that tornado currently, or at least it was. This is Calhoun. It's probably getting ready to be on top of them at this point.
Yeah, that right there is, and there's the signature. It's not quite as pronounced, but it is there. So that means it has detected there is something that is in the atmosphere. And wow, look at that.
And this is switching between the radar sites.
That is really significant. That looks like it is on the ground picking up anything and everything in its path, including trees, structures, you name it. That's what happens. The radar beam, as it's sent out, it bounces back and it says, I found something really big here and it's not normal. And this is really what we're starting to see. It's picking up off of different items that were likely picked up by a tornado. And with that new warning, that will likely move right through Calhoun. I tell you what, I'm going to, let's see, if we can go back to 1.
And keep in mind, that's from the Hopkinsville radar as well, so it's scanning a pretty decent way up.
Okay. I'm going to do a track on that real quick and see if we can get an idea of basically timing on this. And let's see, where are we at here? I got so many warnings and so many polygons right now, but I'll tell you what, let's go back to 2. Can you put a track on that, Nolan, while I get this
Gotcha. Do you happen to know the forward speed on that?
Yeah, right now we're looking at, it says here 60 miles per hour.
This should be out of the region fairly fast here. We'll go ahead and trace this out, 60 miles per hour. It's going to go off the screen. Calhoun, 10:01, so 7 minutes for you. Masonville at 10:17, and Whitesville at 10:25. It's going to be out of the region here probably within the next 15 to 20 minutes. And it is moving at highway speeds, 60 miles per hour. In fact, let's go ahead and zoom back in on this, get a more street level view on it. Now we're switching, I think, you see how this is switching back and forth. This is right on the border of 2 radar locations as to what would best view it. So let's turn this back to the velocity data and see what it picks up here. You can still see a bit of that couplet there right near Calhoun, and it switches from blues to reds here and back to reds and greens and oranges. If we're switching between the radar sites, this is coming out of Hopkinsville. It's picking up that couplet fairly well. I push it back to the north for the Evansville radar. It's being picked up as well just east of Slaughters and northwest of Sacramento. So 2 radars are picking this up in the mid to upper levels. You can see the radar beam spinning up toward Evansville there. This is going to be moving out of the region, thankfully, very quickly here within the next 15 to 20 minutes. But again, if you know anyone in Calhoun, points northeastward up to Kentucky 140, text them, call them to get them in the shelter immediately. Mark, do you have anything?
Yeah, okay. And I want to go through these warnings again just to recap what we're looking at here, because the encouraging news here is a lot of this will likely be out of our area within the next 30 minutes. Still have 1 cell, which it's down in Gibson County. That's tracking towards the north and east, so that's why I think we need to hang here just a bit longer. But again, all of our north and west counties, you're free and clear now. The severe weather threat is over. It's over for Paducah, Mayfield, New Madrid, Carbondale, Mount Vernon, all of these locations. The severe weather threat is over, and these storms are now tracking towards the east, and I expect we'll likely see some of them move into places like Christian County, Hopkins County right now, Caldwell and Hopkins. That particular thunderstorm is still active with a tornado. And then obviously we've got, I think Trigg, you may be able to get by okay without being affected by this, but Marshall and Lyons County, you're both still dealing with some very strong thunderstorms. And again, as we get later into tonight, I expect that a lot of these will quickly push into the central counties of Kentucky and southern Indiana and central Tennessee. But for the time being, this is all that we have left, and there are still a number of warnings up and down this line. So with those in mind, I'm going to head back over here to the wall, and right now we're planning on continuing our extended coverage through 10 o'clock, and we expect that these storms will continue to be in place through 10 to 10:30, and traditionally this is where we'll have our 10 o'clock newscast, and we will have more on weather than we are, because this is really right now, this is our news story. And If we can just go through these warnings that we've got left, Nolan, I want to just recap what we have left and get an idea. Most of these will be moving out quickly.
All right, so we'll start with the Madisonville warning up here. In fact, we'll go ahead and drag these down to the screen. That's for Hopkins and Webster until 10 o'clock. 3 minutes left on that warning. It's moving out of the region as we speak. I'll try to get as many of these up here as I can. Now, some of these warnings won't pop up. Some of them are crossed over each other. Caldwell, again, another 10 o'clock warning for Caldwell Christian, Lyon, Marshall, and Trigg. So these are going to expire all fairly quickly or potentially get expanded outward into other counties. Let's move further southward across the line here. I'm still watching this one right near Katie's. It still has a pretty decent amount of rotation left in it here. Flash flood warnings are still in effect. I don't think I can get that one to pop up here. Again, this is still moving toward Katie's. Now, I checked it with the debris. There's nothing being lofted with this, but if you're in Katie's, you need to be taking shelter immediately as this is moving over Canton and toward US 68, Gracie, and Kentucky 128. This morning, again, up in Christian, Caldwell, Lyon, Marshall, and Trigg until 10 p.m. this evening. We'll go ahead and move this southward again here into Tennessee. We have a tornado warning till 10 as well for Henry County, and Gibson and Weakley also until 10. So a lot of these warnings are going to expire practically at the exact same time here. But as this line continues pushing further east, I still want to watch this cell, particularly going over the Canton area near Katie's. Let's go ahead and put another debris track on this real fast to see if we can pick up anything. And there is a little dropout here according to the last scan just west of Canton. We need to take this seriously as this could be moving toward the Katie's area. And that is a little bit of an older data. You see how the velocities are a little bit further east from Canton now. And we'll go ahead and we'll take this back over the last hour. Notice this is moving northeast, Shawnee Hills. It's on top of you now. North side of Katie's. We'll likely see this scrape by them as well. I'll go ahead and pull the radar up on the behind the scenes as well to see if we can see anything better with this Katie's storm. There's still a tiny dropout behind the scenes. And so it indicates we could still have a small tornado on the ground just east of Canton. So I'll put this back up here real fast to show you. See that little green area? I'm going to circle it on here for you. That is where we see potential debris being lofted into this storm. It's small, but it is there. So we need to be in Katie's, up Hopkinsville Road, US 68 in Gracie. You need to be in shelter immediately. And Cerulean, I know we're under a tornado warning here that's about to expire, but this storm is heading up toward you as well. So we need to watch for this storm to make its way to you in the next 25 to 30 minutes as well. Mark, Trent, have you got anything new?
We're going to toss it back over to Trent here in just a second.
Let's continue to run off of source 2. For the time being. Okay, guys, we're going to hang with you here at least for another 5 or 10 minutes. We want to get this storm here in Trigg County a little farther to our east. While we're covering that, we're coming up here. It's 10 o'clock right now. We are going to cut away from weather coverage for some news coverage here in about 5 to 10 minutes. We've got several reports of damage around the area, and we need to get you caught up on that. But we are still going to hang with you here for the storm that's currently around the Canton area in Trigg County. And we're also still watching some storms in Tennessee. In fact, let me kind of jump back down to the south a little bit here. Let's see if we can get this to Nolan. You may have to.
Yeah, you're gonna have to run.
You may have to drive the radar for me here. Let's jump back down into Tennessee real quick. And right now we do not have any active tornado warnings in northwest Tennessee. So that is some good news. Still a large area under a severe thunderstorm warning that runs here from about the central sections of Gibson County up to the northwest of Huntingdon and then up toward Paris. Main concern here is the potential for some strong straight line winds, but really over Tennessee, one of our big concerns now, we're transitioning from the severe weather threat to the threat for some flooding in those areas. We've got a number of counties already under flood warnings, And with these storms, one of the trends that you are noticing, they're starting to kind of slow down a little bit. In fact, Nolan, if you want to put that in motion, to put a loop on that over the last hour, a lot of rain back here from the Boot Heel over into Lake, Obion County, and the storms, the forward movement of those storms beginning to slow down a little bit. So that's kind of where we are transitioning from the tornadic threat to the heavy rain threat. There's still a little bit of a hook on the storm southwest of Paris, so we want to keep a close eye on that. Maybe flip it over to velocity real quick there, Nolan.
I'll go ahead and give you a closer zoom on it as well.
Yeah.
Tiny bit of rotation, just a little bit of reds.
Some strong straight line winds perhaps here south of Paris, but let's go back over to regular radar and let's head back up to the storm around Cadiz and into Trigg County. That's still kind of the main storm that we're concerned about here. Some pretty tight rotation right over Cadiz right now, so we need to be taking shelter here. Yeah, look at that. That's some pretty strong rotation there. This is moving to the east, getting ready to cross I-24 over here in far eastern sections of Trigg County. And it does look like we've got a tornado warning in place here for Cadiz over toward Gracie and north of Hopkinsville. This tornado warning is in effect until 10:45. This is radar indicated rotation. Thankfully, just kind of looking at the data behind the scenes, there's not a debris signature with that, so we'll hopefully stay with just a radar indicated area of rotation there. But this storm around the Cadiz area is our main concern right now in western Kentucky. And as we pan to the north just a little bit, you can see here across far eastern Caldwell County, still a little bit of some strong winds south of Dawson Springs, although not really overly concerned about that. And then as we switch back over to regular radar, you can see there is a lot of heavy rain from Dawson Springs back down toward Lamasco and Cadiz. And so again, our storm that's moving from Cadiz over toward Gracie and north of Hopkinsville, that's kind of the main storm that we are concerned about right now. Let's kind of pull back out for an area-wide view here.
Okay, let me reset this
and let's just give it maybe one or two more minutes, guys. Are you guys about ready to go?
Yeah, we're just about there.
Okay, let's hang with the radar here for a couple more minutes before we send it over to news. Lot of heavy rain still unfolding here across western Kentucky.
2 minutes.
2 more minutes, okay. So we're going to get you some news coverage coming up here in about 2 minutes, but we're sticking here with radar. You can see here ultimate Doppler showing that for the most part, our area of thunderstorms, including our warnings, is beginning to move out of the local 6 area right now. We still do have from Carroll and Henry County in Tennessee, some severe weather there, possible strong winds. And we've got the storm that is coming through Cadiz right now that is producing some rotation. Thankfully, no debris signature on that. We've also got some strong winds around Madisonville and Dawson Springs, some very heavy rain. But by and large, for the majority of the local 6 area, our severe weather threat is coming to an end. So we'll continue to keep an eye on things here across areas from Hopkinsville up toward Madisonville. Can't completely rule out the possibility of something around the Cadiz area. There is still some spin there. There's still a little bit of rotation in the storm near Paris and McKenzie, Tennessee as well. So we'll want to keep a close eye on that in the next few minutes as well. But as the system kind of passes to the east of Cadiz right now, that is kind of our main area of concern. So with that, we're going to kind of scale back our severe weather coverage. We're still keeping an eye on things here for you, but we have had a lot of reports of damage across the region. So we'll toss it over to Todd and Jennifer for the latest on what we've been tracking there, guys.
All right, Trent, Mark, Nolan, thanks for all of your work tonight. We do have teams across the Local 6 area tracking this severe weather and its impact.
Yeah, multiple crews are out working to gather reports of debris, damage from all of these storms.
But first,